Last but not least, we just need to create a return policy. This is a really easy and fast one. And then we're going to import our first product, and I'll finally fulfill my order that came in. My customer's waiting. I don't want to keep him waiting, and neither should you once you start getting orders. I'm going to show you how to fulfill as fast as possible and have it all automated for you if you don't want to do it manually. Again, I always show you the manual way of doing things and also the automated way. You choose which method is best for you. So we're going to create a return policy. We're going to click right here where it says return policy on the Amazon cheat sheet. And these are the general settings that you want to configure here. So let's go to that. So here we are under the return settings. You can see that I'm only going to pay attention to United States. I'm not selling in Mexico or Canada. So here, my authorization is in policy Amazon. I'm enrolled to sell here. My label type, if someone wants a return, is going to be an Amazon prepaid label. RMA, return merchandise authorization. Here you want to change it from Amazon to seller. This means that the seller is going to upload a return label and it's not going to be handled by Amazon. I want to tell the customer where to return to, and that's according to what my supplier sent me if I have a return. So we're going to go over that, but right now let's just set up the configuration. Labels for exempt items, we want to have it on seller prepaid, and that's pretty much it here. Go ahead and save your settings. Then you've got manage return addresses. Now the thing is, we don't want our customers to use the return address that we have here, because when we ask our supplier for a return label, if we're eligible for one, then so is our customer. So when we get that return label from our supplier, we want to use that return label that has a specific return address on it. It's also going to have a UPS tracking number so we can track and see that the customer really returned the product. But we want to use the shipping label with the address that we're going to get from our supplier, and we don't have that address yet. So right now what we're going to do here is we're going to create a new return address. So here where it says manage your return address, I'm going to click on that. And then here I'm going to click on add a new address. And then you want to write this, as you can see right here. Okay, it should also be here on the cheat sheet. So all of these settings, we already did it. Manage return addresses. We create a new return address. That's exactly what I just did now. And under the warehouse address, the name is do not return to this address. Seller will provide a return label. So when the buyer sees this, they'll be like, oh, okay. So I'm not going to return it to whatever it says here on Amazon. I'm going to wait for the seller to send a return label. Okay, so I'm going to click on add a new address, and that is the address name. Okay, I just pasted it here. Do not return to this address. Seller will provide a return label. So here we're just going to add a virtual address. You can use even one of the addresses, the warehouse addresses that you have here in the cheat sheet above. So you can use one of these addresses if you're looking for a return address, or just add any virtual address from the United States. It doesn't matter, because the customer will see that they do not need to return to this address, and they will wait for you to upload a shipping label, which you will do inside their return case on Amazon. It's really easy to find it. I don't have any returns now to show it to you, but it's a very simple and straightforward process. So fill in a name, phone number, doesn't need to be real, virtual address, click on add address, and that is the one that's going to be selected for your default return address. Next, you've got return program settings. So do you want to offer returns for all items, for some of your items, or for none of your items? So if you're going to work with suppliers that don't offer free returns, then you're going to have to give it only to some of your items, and then you'll have to select which items are eligible for free returns, or give it to all of your items. I usually go for all items. I usually don't get that much returns, and if I have a return every now and then and I'm not eligible for one, I could just send a refund to my buyer or try to compensate in another way. Again, returns make up for around 1 to 2% of our transactions. It's not a big deal. I usually give free returns for all items. You can select whichever one you see fit. So if you're going to go for some items, that's also absolutely fine. Go ahead and click on submit, and then you will be able to choose which products you want to enable free returns for. So that is it when it comes to all of our shipping and return settings: where we ship from, where we ship to, whether it's from China or from the US, and to the US or to worldwide, as well as our return settings. That's it. We only have to do it once. And now we can finally start adding products to our Amazon stores, the same products that you found during product research. Let's go ahead and do that now.